Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and before we begin, let's review our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and share our risk disclosure here. All right, so just want to remind everyone that the content that's about to be published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, as partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, guys, let's see if I can bring that back here. Yeah, well, thank you for that, Wetlands. We'll display it here for about 15 seconds. Hopefully it's visible now. Okay. Morning, Aslan. All right. let's go ahead and take a look at the news portal and see what news we have that could impact the markets. We're going to go ahead and pause here and make sure that everybody is able to see this before we get started. A lot of red. Hopefully you guys can see if I can get some indication from someone that they are able to see this, we'll get started. All right, perfect. All right, so so again, just reviewing the news that has already been posted here. We have the U.S. initial jobless claims. I guess came in slightly better than expected. 1,000 less claims than was projected. GDP quarter over quarter came in slightly higher than the past week, I guess, from 0.2% higher. And looks like we haven't really gotten all the numbers that we were expecting here just yet. We have pending home sales coming in at 10 a.m. today. And then we have a White House press briefing that always has an opportunity, a chance of impacting things. We have some 7-year note yield information that's coming in at about 1 p.m. And then to kind of round out the day, we have some more executive orders. And I think this report here, or this speech that's coming from Fed member Waller is coming in, but coming in at the tail end of the market. So shouldn't have much in the way of impact. But I think the impactful news, I would say the good news about that is that it's coming early in the market. So the effect of the market should be rather apparent right away. Okay. And as we kind of look ahead for tomorrow, tomorrow being, quite the impactful day when it comes to news. All right. We have PCE coming in. We have PMI as well. And then we have some sentiment around inflation also coming in tomorrow. So Friday could generate some volatility in the markets based on the general news that we're getting. Okay. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we'll go ahead and turn our attention to the markets. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop sharing here, and we'll share this window. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen here in a minute. Let's see. Okay, hopefully we'll give that a maybe 20 seconds or so, and then that'll give me a chance to move to the regular contract in the gold market. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so let's again take a look at the market here. So we'll start off with a daily chart in the gold. So you can see that we are continuing our leg higher. Okay, this is now let's say how many days here of up movement. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the last 7 days have been positive. We continue to work inside this, kind of structure here that we've been talking about. What looks like kind of an ascending wedge pattern in this market. Okay, this is I don't know, at least one, two, three, the fourth time that we're coming into this area. Okay. So I don't know if maybe some of the news tomorrow will cause the market to break above this level. Okay, but we are coming into some areas here around 3,500. Okay, that have been resisted in the past, and we're back at this level again with a relatively shorter time lower. Right. So let me take a drink of water here. All right. So again, market is above some of the indicators that we are using. You can see that the value range, we're visible range that we have here. We see that price is above that as well, which indicates that maybe we are in some sort of trend here to the upside, at least on the short term. But we are obviously coming into some areas that where we could be somewhat resistant. Okay. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the 4-hour chart. See what the 4-hour chart has to say. And you can see that we continue to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. I'm going to turn off initial balance here for a moment. And you can see, right, these are, I guess, fair value gaps, I guess, that we're leaving here. Yeah, it looks like these fair value gaps that we're leaving in the market, which could potentially be supportive as we move higher. Okay. Something I guess I'm experimenting with just to get a sense of how well these levels are being respected. But nonetheless, you can see that on the 4-hour chart, we continue to be in some sort of bullish trend. Okay. Prices above our 9 EMA here. And we still have a fair amount of distance here. And if I did some sort of retracement on this, if I did a little bit of Fibonacci analysis on this, let's see where we are in reference to this. See if I can, okay, something like that. Okay, so let's see. So we're above the 61.8 retracement, which is generally kind of the retracement level that we would expect a continuation move, right? The higher we go into this swing, the weaker the feeling that is to the downside. Okay. Now, if they are going to make a stand, or sellers are going to make a stand here, is probably going to be around this 3,500 level. 3,500 level has been an area in the past that has been resistant. So we still have a ways away to get to that level, but okay. So in any case, market structure still indicates that we still have some upside, but again, just coming into an area where we could potentially see some sellers is near. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the 30-minute chart here. We're going to do some volume analysis here just to get a sense for where price is in relation to the yesterday's price action here. So we're going to go ahead and select fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and locate the, let's see, start of Thursday here. Where is it? start Thursday. There. Actually, we're gonna use start of Wednesday. Apologize. Start of Wednesday, which is back here, and drag that across to the close of Wednesday. There. Okay, so you can see that there's a fair number of, although we're starting to get a little bit of retracement here. So fair number of buyers were in this market, right? Both, I guess, more so in London than in Asia. Asia, I guess, we're probably a little bit bearish to neutral. Okay, but fair number of buyers, I would say, came in, stepped in the tail end, either tail end of Asia or into the London market. Okay, so right now we're above value, indicating that we have some interest here to the upside. As a result of some of the news that we've been getting here, you can see that price is working its way below our 9 EMA. We have a sloping VWAP here that could serve as an area of support here around 34, let's say 34.54. That could be a logical area where we could see some support and maybe a continuation move to the upside. The fact that we are above settlement also is a positive sign. Okay, so all indications, at least for now, outside of the fact that we're getting a rather strong bearish engulfing candle here, outside of that, it does appear that we are in some sort of bullish trend. Now, again, if I draw a little bit of a channel here, you can see that while we are receiving a rather strong candle here to the downside, we are still inside this channel. Now we are challenging. Obviously, we are challenging the downside here. Okay, so if we manage to close below this, then maybe that's kind of leads us to maybe a leg down to maybe this value area high level here on the visible range, or down to settlement. Okay, because we do have a couple of supportive areas here down below. So let's kind of confirm my view here on this initial balance. We're going to go ahead and look at Tokyo here to start, and see what the initial balance range. So you can see that Tokyo managed to take the market lower, but was not able to take it too far before buyers stepped in. We got to the 50% extension of the initial balance range and basically reversed, right? We've now, and then into London, have kind of been in a little bit more kind of bullish price action of late here. Okay, and we've broken above, made for a relatively nice bullish trade here, right? Nice extension here, a pullback back to an area where we would expect to see some buying, and we rallied not only to the 50%, 100%, but we exceeded the 200% extension of this initial range. Anytime we get a relatively short range, narrow range like that, increases the odds of some potential a potential extension. Okay, so in any case, we had up until the news we were relatively inside a bullish trend. Now with this development here with the news, I'm starting to maybe question whether we should be continuing to look for bullish, or whether we should kind of change our perspective or sentiment here from bullish to bearish. Okay, now as long as price remains above this initial balance range, as long as price remains above VWAP, I would say that I will continue to hold that view. The moment we start breaking below the VWAP and maybe get back inside, say, the initial balance range, and maybe break this channel to the downside, then maybe my view will change here a little bit. But until then, I'm I guess neutral to bearish, I would say, in the at least on the short term in this market. Okay. All right. Early news could mean larger. I mean, yeah. Especially if we start to take a look at this on the U.S. perspective, right? Larger range could also contribute to range kind of price action, right? So as a result, we're going to get a relatively large initial balance range here. Okay. So, so that could contribute to us not making any sort of directional move in this market, but rather remain in range for the rest of the day, right? Because a lot of energy has been expelled as a part of the news to create a relatively wide range. So yes, that could contribute. The wider the range, the more it could contribute to maybe some range price action today. Okay. So Aslan got a couple of nice entries in London. Excellent. All right. So yeah, so I would say that right now I'm kind of neutral to bearish, I guess, in this market. Maybe if we do manage to hold this level here, although this red candle does look a bit ominous to me. We'll see how well it closes here in the next I don't know 35 minutes. So 30-minute candle, actually the next 5 minutes. We'll see how this candle closes and see how it reacts to that area. If it does offer, maybe it might even offer maybe a little bit of a reversal here, because we are indeed still inside some channel here. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the gold market. I guess, like I said, we have a fair number of buyers in this move, but as a result of the news, we've received maybe some sellers coming into this market. We'll see if the sellers have the participants to continue to drive price lower, or this is just an opportunity for folks to kind of load up on some more gold for maybe a continuation move to the upside. Okay, because if we look at this on the higher time frame, we've been rather bullish of late. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move and turn our attention to crude oil. We had the EIA report, and the EIA report also obviously caused the market to rally here a little bit. So we'll remove some of our drawings here, and we'll take a look at the daily chart just like we normally would. Okay, looking at the daily chart just to get a sense of what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay, so again, daily chart, we've been in this kind of bearish trend here. I think the price action that I'm seeing of late is maybe showing me some signs that maybe we are building up some momentum again for maybe a possibility for a move up. Okay, we have some areas here. I guess they're identified as areas of some resistance, but you can see here that we've broken above our 9 EMA, retested the 9 EMA, and now we are above it, right? So again, I would say that we are beginning to see maybe some signs here of some bullish price action. Okay, and otherwise market that has been bearish. Okay, all right. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Okay, so we are creating a little bit of a demand zone here below us here. Okay, you can see that with this price action here, we left a little bit of a demand, but we are obviously coming into some areas where we could find some sellers here, right? So while we're beginning to see some structure here to the upside, right? We're starting to break some structure here to the left, right? We broke a resistance area, right? To the upside. We managed to come through it. Okay. And again, rally, right? So typical, I would say probably more, more range than necessarily initiative, but nonetheless, the current swing is bullish. All right. So let's take a look at the 30-minute chart and see what the 30-minute chart has to say. So we're right up against settlement price here. Right up against an area that could be resistant. Really didn't get the reaction that I would expect to see, at least for now. Okay, it feels like the move should have generated maybe a little bit more in the way of a bearish reaction. Did not get the same reaction that we got the last time we were here. Instead, we got some reaction here with the open of the market that would indicate that maybe there is some momentum here to the upside. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Let's compare price to where it is today. And we'll go ahead down back here, right here, drag that across to the close of the New York session here, right there. Okay, so you can see that price is hovering around value area high. Value has not been accepted. So again, indicating that maybe there is a fair amount of momentum in the direction that's currently in, and that is to the upside. Okay, so 64 again, ringing in again, right? 64. So again, as long as we can remain above 64, it feels like there is another leg in store for this market. Now, we may have already reached the 61.8% extension of this move. Let's go ahead and take a look at Fibonacci here a little bit. Okay, so if I do this, we've already, oh no, we haven't come to the 61.8% extension. Okay, so if we manage to hold above 64, then I would say that obviously the 64.28 level is very much in target, and then ultimately this 64.77 is 100% extension of this move here. So if it's going to follow this kind of symmetry, then the view is that maybe if we are going to trend with this, those are a couple of targets that we can look for. But we still need to get above 64.20, right? So right now we have not been able to get above settlement. Okay, if we are indeed going to follow what I'm suggesting, we need to make a new high, right? This candle here, while it did close above, has not necessarily followed through with what we would expect. Okay, right now we're up against the settlement price that could cause the market to maybe continue in this range kind of price action that we've been seeing of late. Okay, so headed into the session, I would say that as long as we can stay above 64, maybe there is another leg higher. If we cannot, then I would say there's obviously the possibility of a full rotation of this market back down to the lows here, down to 63.57. That's not out of the realm of possibility here, and that's also in line with maybe the possibility of a rotation all the way down to this point of control of the visible range. But I am seeing, again, price still above some of these indicators here that we're using. And until these are broken, I would say that the path right now of least resistance seems to be higher. Okay, but I am open to the idea of the possibility of maybe price failing and closing below, and that would give us a final, some indication that we are going to continue lower. Okay, all right. So yeah, so I would say that heading into the market, I guess neutral to bullish. Okay, neutral to bullish in the crude oil market, looking for the possibility of the market extending up to the 61.8% and maybe possibly up to these highs here. Okay, all right. So before we move on to the equity markets, I'm just kind of taking a look and see that we still have a little bit of a discrepancy between the likes and the participants. So I'm going to again request folks to, if you find that my analysis is supporting your ability to understand the markets, I would encourage you to hit the like button. Okay, if you're not already a subscriber and you'd like to comment as I'm doing these reviews, I would suggest to hit the subscribe button, and yeah, just hit it, right, Alejandro? Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Give me a comment or two that you're benefiting in some way from this analysis, right? All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead now. And now that I've gone through my obligatory kind of marketing here, we'll go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. We'll start off with a daily chart here. And again, we seem to be in some sort of range kind of price action. Now, I feel that there is some sort of move brewing in this market. Okay, right now, it's hard to say exactly which direction. The fact that the news events that we received today really didn't have much of an impact on this market as of yet, although we haven't really broken out of this range here, right? We seem to be stuck in this range. So the question now becomes, are our participants are they going to be able to break out of this range? If not, then again, the idea is that we would continue in some sort of range kind of price action. What I do see here of late, right? We have a nice strong bullish engulfing candle followed by 3 out of the 4 candles being bullish. So maybe there is some momentum that is being built for maybe another leg to the upside. The question is when, okay? Because we're coming in close to the apex of this triangle pattern, and I would expect that we would make that break before we reach the apex of this this pattern. Okay, let's go ahead and move down to the 4-hour chart. We'll take a look and see what the 4-hour chart is telling us. So you can see that some of the indicators that we follow is indicating that we are above some prices here that would indicate there is some interest here to the bullish side in this market, right? So we're above value from Tuesday. We're going to take a look at where we are with value here in a minute when we drop down to the 2-minute chart, but we are seeing some signs of making higher highs and higher lows. We're above some of the sentiment, some of the indicators that would arrive at sentiment. This is back on Tuesday. Okay, London, we're still above that level. Okay, so a lot of indications are indicating that there's further upside in this market. All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and do a little comparison here. We're going to open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to compare it to what we see with in the way of price action at the moment here. So let's do that. Drag that across to the close of yesterday here. All right, so you can see that we're working our way above value. All right, above settlement here. Okay, so this area right here, the expectation is that it's going to be somewhat supportive, right? Assuming that we can hold above it. And again, if I do a little bit of kind of Fibonacci analysis here on the most recent swing, this could lead us to, let's see, if we manage to get above, say, 23,650, then not out of the realm of possibility here to get up to 2366.63, and maybe up to this, I guess, earlier trend line that I had here of the upper end of this triangle pattern here around 23,711. Could you give us ADR? All right, so ADR levels, we have this 23,688, so still a little bit of a delta here to get to. Okay, I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but yeah, we have an ADR level here above at 23,686, so indicating that there's still some upside available in this market. All right, let's take a look at the initial balance here. And see what these other markets were able to do in that respect. Initial balance, okay. All right, so let's start off with, let's remove some of my drawings. I feel like I have a lot of drawings here, so let's remove some of those drawings. And let's take a look at initial balance from Asia. Okay, so we had a nice leg higher, right? We had a nice leg higher in Asia, so a fair number of buyers in this market. The same is true, it appears, on the London side. Okay, right? So we're kind of inching our way above the initial balance range that was established. I would say relatively late in the market, right? So a little bit of a failed auction, I would say, in the London market, and now we're kind of working our way above. So yeah, I would say that's not out of the realm of possibility here of getting up to 23,685. Early in the session, okay, before we see anything in the way of any sort of rejection. So that's kind of, I would say, my view right now on the shorter time frame would be a bit bullish. Okay, a bit bullish on this market, at least up to 23,686 or 23,685, somewhere in that range. Then we might have maybe a little bit of an issue here to get above this ADR high. Okay. All right. So yeah, NASDAQ, I would say it does appear to be bullish as we head into the open. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the ES here and see what the ES has to say about all of this. And again, remove some of our drawings here. Okay, so you can see, go ahead and remove the initial balance and turn off ADR here for a minute. Okay, so again, we see that we are in some sort of pattern. We're in some sort of ascending wedge pattern. Okay, this is kind of what I'm looking at here. Let's see if I can manage to draw it here. Okay, so some ascending wedge pattern here. This is kind of what I'm seeing. Okay, something along those lines. May not be perfect, but that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so again, some sort of consolidation pattern. We continue to grind higher in this market. Market does appear to continue, while we are maybe losing a little bit of momentum. Still we're moving in in the upward direction here. Okay, let's look at the 4-hour chart. Again, we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. We are giving some indication here that there are some areas below us that are supportive. We developed another area here that also does appear to be supportive. Demand zone here. Again, all indications right now seems like there is maybe a possibility of more upside potential in this market here. Okay, so taking a look at the 30-minute chart, we're going to compare to where we are with respect to our volume profile. See where we're at. Let's open that up here for Wednesday. Start of Wednesday is right about here. Okay, I drag that across to the close here. Okay, so we're kind of, again, similar to the NASDAQ, kind of flirting with the edge of value here. Assuming that we can stay above that, that could maybe be a springboard, maybe for some further price action to the upside. We'll open up ADR here just to see where we're at. Well, we have an ADR here of 65.1350. So again, that does appear that maybe we could at least get up to that level before we see any sort of reversal in price. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm saying, I'm seeing. So I would say headed into the session, similar to the NASDAQ, it does appear that we are a bit on the bullish side. I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance here a little bit just to see what these markets. So this is the London market. London has not been able to get above initial balance like it did for NASDAQ. We'll open up Asia. Okay, Asia, and see what in Asia we did get a nice extension early in this session here to the upside. Okay, so fair amount of buyers certainly in the Asia session, and maybe possibly working similarly in the London session. Okay, kind of coming into the tail end of the London session. So yeah, so headed into the session, it does appear that we are in some sort of bullish structure. I would say that we need to remain above, say, 6,500 here in this market to I guess continue this move. Okay, 6,500 I guess is kind of my line in the sand to determine whether or not we have a kind of a continuation move to the upside. But it does appear, based on the structure that I'm seeing right now, the structure does appear to be on the bullish side. Okay. Now we are obviously coming into some areas here, 65.05, 65.10, that could offer us maybe some resistance to price. So we'll have to monitor and see how well we hold above value. Okay. All right. Let's take a look now at the Dow. Okay, and then we'll make one final pass across all the markets. Taking a look at the Dow, we'll look at the daily chart. Now the Dow was kind of, I felt like the Dow was kind of leading the pack to some degree. I'm seeing a little bit of weakness in the Dow now as I opened up this chart. So we're up against this area of resistance. Okay, so we have not made a new high of late, but we are obviously challenging it. Okay, we would appear to have, depending on how you look at this, if you look at it more from this perspective, you could make a case that we've broken an ascending wedge to the upside. Okay, right? We broke an ascending wedge to the upside, and we retested it and found some more buyers. So that would be an indication that we are in some sort of bullish market, right? Right. So if we did that, we've already broken in. So again, the Dow seems to be leading the charge a little bit here to the upside. I mean, if this is ascending wedge is any indication. Dropping down to the 4-hour chart, looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to turn off initial balance here for a moment. So we see that the price is hugging our 9 EMA. I was kind of looking to see maybe if this area was going to produce some sellers, and it did not. Right, we managed to hold above the 9 EMA. We continue to hold above the 9 EMA, indicating that there is still a fair amount of bulls in this market. All right. If I do a little Fibonacci analysis on this to kind of get a sense of where we could head, take this area here to the top of this down below. Okay, so we still have a ways away to get to the 61.8%. That's 45,863. And then we have 46,287 as maybe an ultimate destination here for this most recent swing. Okay, the strength of the swing here was relatively strong. We had a nice good pullback, probably anywhere between 50% to 61% of this swing. And now it looks like we are making maybe a move up to the upside. Now, so heading into the session, I would say based on this chart, it's looking a little bit bullish. Okay. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Again, a lot of the indicators that we follow, price is above. Okay. So we're above settlement. We are working our way to get above here on the 30-minute chart, to get above our 9 EMA and our daily VWAP here. I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile just to get a sense of where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right. So here we are, drag that across to the close. And you can see that price remains above, I would say firmly above, right? Firmly above value, right? So we are getting a little bit of reaction away from this value area high. I'm not sure that this is necessarily I don't know, maybe I'm not really liking the right shoulder for a head and shoulder pattern here. I think that we have a very well-defined left shoulder, but I'm not getting the same feeling on the right. Okay. So maybe an incomplete pattern here. But nonetheless, we've had this pattern before. Look like we had a head and shoulder pattern here before, only to cause the market to rally. And it seems like the same is true now, right? We are coming into an area here where it looks like we found some buyers, and we're beginning to rally away from this area. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up initial balance. I just want to get a sense of how the initial balance is forming here. So this is let's see, this is Asia. Okay, so nice move above the initial balance range during the Asia session. London also well, actually we're actually below London. Okay, so Asia above, London below, but we've already reached the 100% extension of this move, and this area here could cause the market, again, given the proximity of value, could cause the market to rally from this location. Okay, so maybe a bit of a failed auction maybe in play here in the Dow. So we'll have to wait and see for the open of the U.S. market. But if we do manage to close back inside here, maybe 45,742, we could rotate all the way up to 45,800 during the New York session. Okay. All right. So let's go through one final review across all the markets and get a sense here of what the markets are trying to accomplish here. So let's make sure I have the initial balance range, not for London, but for the day session. MCG rejected VWAP. Let's see. I'm assuming you're saying MGC rather than MCG, right? Okay, so let's see what's going on here. All right, so we are in the second candle of our initial balance range. We made an attempt to head lower. We are seem to be, yeah, certainly for me as well. We are reacting away from VWAP, right? We are reacting away from VWAP, but this candle is still under development. Let's move down to a 15-minute. Okay, so yeah, so maybe we are getting a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern here, developing in the gold market that could offer us maybe a move to the upside. Okay, so we got a nice little rejection candle here at the low end of the initial balance low, and now we are developing another 15-minute candle that would complete maybe a 3-bar reversal pattern around VWAP. So yes, okay, so yes, it does appear that maybe we might be in potentially in another leg that could take us back up to 34.65 and maybe potentially beyond. We'll have to see. So yeah, so we're starting to see maybe some bullish, maybe price action. Okay, we did break to the downside. Now we are. This looks like we found some buyers, and now creating a little bit of a reversal pattern to the upside. Okay, crude oil, the famous crude oil here, looks like it's still in range. Yeah, still in range. Yeah, still inside the channel technically. And I'm talking gold here, right, Aslan? But crude oil is appears to be in some sort of range price action. A lot of overlapping candles. Really, I would say that if I had to err on any direction, I would say that it's probably going to remain in range. Probably no direction. Um, but certainly the possibility of eventually getting a break, maybe back down to VWAP before we continue in any sort of direction to the upside. So maybe a move down to 63.85. Right now we're hovering right around 64. So like I said, I would bearish below 64. Maybe above, I would be more inclined for bullish opportunities. Okay, but it does appear to be more in range. Looking at the NASDAQ, okay, on the 30-minute, again, we continue to see some bullish price action above some of the levels that we care about. Again, not really inclined necessarily to participate in longs up against what is maybe prior resistance. But if we get some sort of bullish move with some volume to the upside, then this 23,660 level or 555 level, 655 level could offer maybe an area for participating in a move here to the upside. Okay, I'm looking here to the left, and I'm seeing kind of what the road is. There's still, if we manage to get above this, there's a fair amount of distance to get up to the highs here. Next logical location would be around this 23,750 level, assuming that we manage to get above this level. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. It appears to be about somewhat bullish up against some areas of resistance. The ES is lagging a bit, not quite as high as the NASDAQ, but nonetheless still bullish. Maybe bullish, maybe potential range. Okay, and then the Dow, I think we just discussed. Also, a little bit, I would say maybe ranging. Okay, we are getting some indication here on the 15-minute chart. We got a nice bullish engulfing. We got a retracement. Now with this candle, we have the potential of maybe closing above, maybe leaving a little bit of a demand zone, and that could lead us to maybe a move, maybe back to the highs here. Okay, so all the markets right now for me are showing some signs of bullish price action. So heading into the session, while I'm going to be continuing to wait for some additional information, we're coming into a market, at least on the equity side, that appear to be somewhat bullish here. Okay, certainly we can step into a mine here somewhere in this area, especially on the Dow. Given this swing here, we could find some sellers anywhere in this area here, right? At any point in this swing, the sellers could step in because that's the swing that we're in right now. So we're not at the top end like the other equity markets. So that's something to be aware of. But we are developing a little bit of a demand zone down below. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that's pretty much what I have for you today, as far as with respect to the markets. So, unless there's a question or two on the analysis, we'll look to close this session as we close most sessions. Okay, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Okay. Have it. You're welcome, Anthony Will. Yeah, they do. Yeah, Aslan, I would say that they are trending. But if you've already reached your profit goals, there's no need to put more risk capital into the markets. Hey, Gerardo.